In this video, we're going to look at how we break a vector into two parts, which we call components. It's also called vector resolution. In this problem, we have Ryan drove his car 10 miles in the direction of 25 degrees north of west. So we have a vector showing that 25 degrees north of west, and then the length of the vector is represented by 10 miles. It asks how far west is Ryan from his initial position, and how far north is Ryan from his initial position. So to get how far west, we're going to find this section of the triangle here. And then we're going to find out how far north, which is this section of the triangle here. I will label them as X and Y to help me keep track of which one is which. The angle that I'm given is right here. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label my different sides, which is the opposite, hypotenuse, and the adjacent. So the angle is on the right. The opposite of right is left. So the side Y is my opposite. My hypotenuse is the longest side. So that's the 10 miles. And then the adjacent side is the one left over. It's one touching the angle, but is not considered my hypotenuse. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do, we're going to solve letter A first. How far west is going to be my X component. We call these parts components of my vector. To do that, we're going to use SOHCAHTOA. I have my hypotenuse, and I want to find my adjacent. That's my cosine. Adjacent and hypotenuse. So I'm going to write out the cosine of my angle, which is 25 degrees, is my adjacent, which is x, divided by my hypotenuse, which is 10. Now what I have to do is I have to look this up. What is the cosine of 25 degrees? Now if you have a calculator with sine, cosine, and tangent, you just type in the cosine of 25. But if not, we have to look it up on a trig table. So in this trig table here, we look up 25. We want the cosine column. And we get that this is 0.906. So this here represents the number 0.906. To solve for x, we multiply by 10 on each side. And I get that x is 9.06. And the unit would be miles. Whatever the unit of the hypotenuse is, will also be the unit of my components. For part B, I'm going to solve for the opposite side. And again, I have my hypotenuse. Therefore, I'm going to use sine, opposite and hypotenuse. Sine of my angle, which is 25 degrees, is equal to my opposite, which is y, divided by my hypotenuse, which is 10. Again, this sine of 25 represents a number. You can either type it into your calculator if you have that type of calculator. But if not, we have to again go to our trig table. We have 25 degrees. We want to look at the sine column, and we get 0.423, round it off. So this represents the number 0.423, which is y over 10. Solve for y, I multiply each side by 10. And I get y is equal to 4.23. And again, the units are miles. Because the hypotenuse units are miles, the unit of each component is also miles.